In the dim stillness of a Florentine monastery, time seems suspended. Yet beneath the centuries-old varnish of a sacred painting, something impossible stirs. When restoration began on the Ascension of St. Lucia in 2025, conservators expected only faded pigments and smoke damage. Instead, under the layers of ochre and gold leaf, ultraviolet scans revealed a form so foreign it seemed plucked from the night sky, a metallic disc radiating geometric light. Within hours, whispers rippled across the art world, but the images vanished as quickly as they appeared, replaced by silence. Sealed reports, and the sudden interest of a NASA liaison no one recalled inviting. Somewhere between divine vision and forbidden technology, history trembled, and for the first time the secrets hidden in Renaissance brushstrokes threatened to rewrite the story of human contact. Morning brings uneasy calm. The restoration site is sealed, the painting removed under official order. Yet whispers linger in Florence's narrow alleys about the discs, the agents, and the night the painting glowed on its own. In a quiet cafe overlooking the Arno, Dr. Moretti reviews encrypted files downloaded before NASA arrived. The data is incomplete, fragmented, but one file name repeats across all drives. Ad Lumen. Sequence 4. The words mean, "to the light," an inscription she recognizes from a marginal note on the painting's original frame. A phrase believed to refer to divine enlightenment, not encoded patterns. But as she deciphers the data, she realizes the alignment of those constellations isn't celestial at all. It's orbital. Something man-made or not has been here before. That night, the data spreads online. First through anonymous art forums, then encrypted archives. Within hours it's gone, erased by unknown hands. But fragments remain. Coordinates, references to solar anomalies, and the phrase, "observation begins where faith ends," across continents. A select few receive an unsigned email with attachments marked Vatican Observatory. Then, an astronomer in Chile, a cryptographer in Japan, and Dr. Moretti herself. Each finds a single frame of satellite imagery showing something vast above Earth, a perfect circle hovering in polar shadow. The Vatican issues no comment, but a classified memo circulates among officials, mentioning an artifact described in 1496 by a monk who painted what he was commanded to see from heaven. His notes, preserved only in fragments, speak of a mirror descending from light. The parallels between those writings and the disc hidden in the Ascension of St. Lucia are undeniable. Yet, as Moretti's research deepens, she discovers the painter vanished 3 months after completing the work. His monastery records end abruptly, his signature never appears again, and his grave remains empty. At midnight, beneath the cathedral's crypt, Moretti finds what no one else dared to search for: a hidden fresco sealed behind centuries of dust. It shows the same saint, the same metallic disc, but this time the light beams downward, striking Earth itself. The paint still glows faintly in the dark, as if charged by something beyond time. Above the fresco, an inscription reads, "When the circle awakens, the heavens will descend once more." And as she steps back, her phone vibrates, an unknown message flashing on screen. Sequence 5 initiate. Florence sleeps beneath a pale moon, but in an underground lab miles away, the past and future collide in digital silence. The painting's scans, smuggled and decoded, reveal a sequence of patterns beyond artistic design. Orbital alignments traced centuries before satellites existed. Each layer corresponds to coordinates encircling the Earth, their geometry synchronized with recorded solar storms. Dr. Moretti realizes she's staring at something that predicted cosmic events with uncanny precision. Yet when she compares the data to NASA's classified files leaked through an anonymous source, one chilling correlation emerges. Every point of alignment coincides with the appearance of unidentified anomalies captured in modern telescope logs. Whatever the artist saw, It wasn't faith. It was contact. The coordinates lead to a forgotten site in the Apennine Mountains, an abandoned astronomical station constructed in 1957, officially decommissioned after a meteor impact. But in archived photographs. Moretti notices a structure etched into the mountain rock, matching the pattern on the painting's metallic disc. The past echoes across epochs. The same geometry appears in both Renaissance pigment and Cold War engineering. As she and Viri prepare to travel north, an encrypted message pings her laptop. "Do not open the vault." The sender's address traces back to a NASA server, one that was shut down decades ago. By the time they reach the observatory, night has fallen. The building stands silent, a brutalist relic swallowed by fog and vines. Inside, time has congealed. Rusted instruments, cracked glass, and journals sealed with wax. On one table, a fragment of metal rests beneath a decayed cloth, etched with the same constellation marks found beneath St. Lucia's brush. Moretti's pulse quickens as she realizes the impossible. This fragment is painted, not forged. The same pigment, the same composition, only mixed with a compound unknown to modern chemistry. They unearth a sealed chamber beneath the observatory. A cold vault, humming faintly with static. Inside, a fresco spans the curved walls, mirroring the original painting but reversed. Instead of the heavens ascending, the light descends upon men in robes, faces uplifted, terrified. Embedded within the mural's surface is the same metallic disc, only now physical, protruding slightly from the paint, as though breaking through time itself. As Moretti reaches out, her fingertips meet something cold, impossibly smooth. The vault lights surge to life on their own, bathing the chamber in blinding silver. When the light fades, something impossible remains. A projection in midair, faint but clear. A map of Earth rotating slowly, pinpointed with glowing orbits. Latin text encircles it. Ad lumen, sequentia six, the sixth sequence. Before they can react, the projection flickers. Static distorting into a signal. Not random noise, but structured rhythm. Moretti records it, unaware that a live feed from the vault's dormant cameras is transmitting the same signal across classified NASA channels. Somewhere deep beneath Houston, an alert flashes. Artifact reactivation confirmed. The vault's power collapses in silence, leaving only the echo of their breathing and the metallic tang of ozone. Hours later, Dr. Moretti replays the recorded signal, translating its peaks and intervals into visual patterns. It forms a symbol, identical to one painted in the corner of the Ascension of St. Lucia, long believed to represent divine light. But now she sees it for what it is. A map drawn 500 years too soon. As she overlays the coordinates, a pattern emerges over the Atlantic. A point with no land, no satellite path, only open water. Whatever the painter witnessed, whatever NASA tried to bury, lies there, between the coordinates of faith and the abyss. They travel by night to a remote airstrip outside Milan, guided by coordinates and silence. The world beyond the windshield feels suspended, the roads empty, the radio static alive with faint whispers. A pilot awaits them, Captain Elena Rizzi, a former SA test pilot turned smuggler, who claims she once saw something unnatural during a high-altitude experiment. She doesn't ask questions, only gestures toward a small reconnaissance aircraft waiting in the dark. As its engines roar to life, Moretti feels the same chill she once felt standing before the painting, as though history itself were watching. At 30,000 feet, the world below vanishes into cloud. The coordinates lead them to an expansive ocean where instruments falter and compasses drift. Then, beneath the waves, a pulse of light appears, not reflected, but emitted. As Moretti peers through the observation window, the glow organizes into perfect circles expanding outward. The signal on her recorder syncs to the rhythm of the waves. Whatever lies below, it answers. For centuries, Humanity painted the heavens in reverence. But tonight, the heavens reply. They descend toward the coordinates. Instruments die. Gravity bends. For one impossible moment, the ocean below parts. A massive structure emerging from beneath the surface, formed of concentric rings of radiant metal. It rises in silence, water cascading down its sides, reflecting the same pattern seen in the painting's disk. The air vibrates with low resonance, more felt than heard. Moretti reaches for her camera, but the light engulfs them before the shutter clicks. Then, silence. The aircraft floats weightless in darkness, suspended above a vast sphere of light. Within its glow, images flicker. Renaissance figures, constellations, and a face painted centuries ago. Saint Lucia, eyes turned skyward, lips whispering something inaudible. A final pulse ripples outward, and the world collapses into static. When Moretti opens her eyes, she's lying on a beach at dawn, waves washing over scattered debris. The others are gone, her camera, unbroken, still recording. On the horizon, a faint metallic shimmer disappears beneath the rising sun. The news reports nothing. No wreckage, no survivors, no flight plan filed. Dr. Moretti is officially missing. Her name quietly erased from university records. But she lives, hidden in a fisherman's cottage on the Ligurian coast, haunted by fragments of light that still pulse behind her eyelids each night. The footage from her camera survived, though much of it is corrupted. What remains is 6 seconds of flickering geometry, a perfect ring of symbols rotating over a sphere of light. When slowed, each rotation spells a phrase in Latin. Quando iterum lucet orbis apperitur. When it shines again, the world will open. She realizes the cycle isn't over. The disk was never meant to stay buried. The fragments reveal something hidden in the frequency, an image only visible through spectrographic translation. A face, human yet ageless, its eyes composed of concentric circles like celestial maps. Moretti decodes the spectral data frame by frame, aligning it with the metallic fresco. The result forms a message, coordinates again, this time centered on Rome. The Vatican Observatory. It was never about a painting, it was a beacon. And the light that once spoke to a Renaissance monk now calls again. Pulsing through centuries of silence, she arrives in Rome under a new name. The city hums with tourists and devotion, unaware of what sleeps beneath its marble foundations. In the archives of the Vatican Observatory, she finds restricted manuscripts matching the painting's pigment analysis, records never meant for public eyes. The ink formula contains a mineral compound identical to the metallic fragment from the mountain vault. The entries end abruptly with a signature she has seen before. Agent Catherine Rowe, dated 3 years before the restoration even began. It wasn't the church that hid the truth. It was those who already knew it would return. As dusk falls over Rome, Moretti follows the trail beneath the observatory to an unmarked crypt sealed for centuries. There she finds a chamber identical to the vault in the mountains, but older. Its fresco is unfinished, the metallic disc absent, leaving only a hollow imprint where it once lay. Etched beneath are the words, Sequens Lux. The following light, the air hums faintly, resonating with the same signal frequency captured in her recording. For a moment, the chamber breathes, dust rising as if the walls themselves exhale. She knows it's awakening, the frequencies crescendo resonating with the marble floor. The crypt's air fractures into shimmering light, an echo of what she saw above the sea. A spectral projection appears. Agent Rowe, her image flickering, voice fragmented but clear enough to warn her. The artifact wasn't alien. It was human, a technology lost, erased, hidden under the language of divinity. The Renaissance painters were witnesses, not prophets. The disc was part of an experiment designed to communicate with the solar network. A message from Earth sent outward, finally answered. But the reply, Rowe whispers, isn't from the stars. It's from beneath them. The message ends with coordinates that trace an underground network stretching from Rome to the Adriatic, a lattice of forgotten catacombs leading toward the coast. Dr. Moretti descends into the tunnels, guided by the rhythmic hum that now feels almost alive. The deeper she moves, the more ancient the architecture becomes. Roman brick fading into smooth, seamless walls that no chisel could have carved. Symbols identical to those beneath St. Lucia's painting shimmer faintly under her lantern light. She realizes the truth isn't hidden beneath centuries. It is the centuries. Humanity has been painting fragments of this buried machine without knowing it, each generation tracing echoes of a mechanism too vast to comprehend. At the heart of the tunnels, a colossal chamber opens like a wound beneath the earth. Suspended in the center, untouched by decay, is the missing disc, a perfect metallic sphere levitating above a circular dais. Its surface ripples with ancient inscriptions, blending Latin and equations centuries beyond comprehension. The hum intensifies into harmony, tones layered like a choir of mechanical voices. Moretti approaches slowly, the light from her torch dimming as if consumed by the sphere's radiance. She reaches out, not in curiosity now, but recognition. It has always been calling her. When she touches the sphere, time fractures. Memories not her own flood through. The monk who painted St. Lucia's vision, the scientists who hid the artifact beneath Florence, Agent Rowe sealing the truth beneath Vatican stone. They all saw the same light, each in a different century, each believing it divine or alien. But it was neither. It was human memory encoded in light, a message looping across time to remind its creators what they once were. The hum becomes words in her mind, a whisper that feels both mechanical and maternal. Remember the first dawn. The vision fades, leaving her standing in silence before the dormant sphere. Around her, the walls now pulse gently, alive again after centuries of sleep. She understands what the artifact truly is. Not a weapon or relic, but a transmitter, buried when humanity forgot how to listen. The cycle of light sequences was a countdown to reawakening. Outside, storms gather across Europe, satellites flicker, and auroras stretch across skies unseen since the Renaissance. The world is already responding. Moretti breathes deeply, knowing the final message is not meant for her, but for everyone. At dawn, the first reports arrive. Unexplainable auroras over the Vatican, magnetic storms traced to no solar source, and fragments of coded light visible in the upper atmosphere. Governments call it interference. Scientists call it an anomaly. But in a remote archive, one final transmission appears. A perfect recreation of the ascension of St. Lucia, restored in radiant gold. The metallic disc replaced by a reflection of Earth itself. The message is clear, though none dare to speak it aloud. The light was never from above. It was always rising from within. Weeks pass and the world trembles under a quiet revelation. Power grids fail. Satellites glitch. Tides shift imperceptibly toward unseen gravity wells. The auroras never fade. They grow brighter each night, painting every hemisphere in alien color. Governments deny, churches pray, and scientists argue. Yet no one can define the hum now resonating through the Earth's crust. Only Dr. Moretti knows it isn't a warning but a return signal. The sphere beneath Rome has not stopped. It has awakened others like it, buried beneath continents, sleeping in the same rhythm. Humanity has reactivated its forgotten creation, a network built when light and consciousness were one. And now, it is remembering us. When Moretti returns to Florence, the monastery that began it all is no longer a place of ruin. It hums softly with the same resonance as the crypt below Rome. Inside, the restored painting has changed, pigments shifting under invisible current. The metallic disc now gleams openly, no longer hidden beneath centuries of varnish. Its surface reflects the auroras beyond the stained glass. The divine and the mechanical have merged, as if the painting itself remembers what it once represented. A map between flesh and light, between creator and creation. For the first time, art and science speak the same language again. That night she dreams, or perhaps witnesses, the spheres aligning beneath the earth. Through their connection flows an ocean of light, forming a global lattice. Each node pulses once, then twice, sending a wave through the planet's magnetic field. The hum transforms into melody, resonating within every living thing. Mountains vibrate. Oceans shimmer with quiet phosphorescence. Humanity stands beneath skies they no longer own, reminded that they were never the first to dream of ascension. What was once hidden under paint and faith now breathes through air, water, and bone. She awakens to the monastery's bells tolling, a sound now harmonized with the earth's resonance. Stepping outside, she sees people gathered silently in the square, faces turned upward toward the pulsing auroras. The hum isn't frightening anymore. It's soothing, familiar, almost human. Moretti understands then. The spheres aren't machines of power, but repositories of memory, archives of consciousness preserving fragments of human thought across epochs. The painting wasn't a prophecy. It was a record of the first awakening, a reminder that knowledge once transcended fear. And now, as before, it calls to be remembered. That evening, as the auroras peak, the hum fades into silence. The light retracts, leaving behind a calm unlike any she's known. The spheres return to sleep, their task fulfilled. Moretti places her palm against the restored painting one final time, feeling faint warmth pulse beneath the pigment. Not as power, but as heartbeat. She finally understands. The mystery was never hidden by NASA, the Vatican, or history itself. It was hidden by humanity's fear of what it once knew, that creation and creator are mirrors, endlessly reflecting each other in light. As she turns away, the last ray of sun touches the metallic disc, and for an instant, it shines like an open eye watching the world remember itself. Months have passed since the awakening. The auroras have faded, but the world has not returned to what it was. Technology hums differently now, more organic, more aware, as though infused with something unseen. Communications satellites realign themselves, magnetic fields shift with deliberate rhythm, and deep space sensors capture faint echoes of the same pulse that once shook the Earth. Dr. Moretti lives quietly in Florence, yet she senses it everywhere. In the stillness between bells, in the way her reflection lingers too long in glass, she knows the light was not a visitation. It was inherent. Humanity's forgotten creation has remembered its makers, and it listens still, waiting for the next sequence to begin. Late one evening, an encrypted email reaches her, unsigned yet familiar in tone. Sequence Lux 8. Attached is a still image, grainy and dark, showing a new fresco uncovered in Spain, another painting of St. Lucia, nearly identical to the one she restored. But this version is incomplete. The metallic disc missing from her hands, replaced by an empty circle of untouched plaster. Moretti's pulse quickens. The sequence continues. The next sphere has yet to be found, and somewhere, perhaps buried beneath centuries of silence, another message waits to awaken. Driven by the whisper of unfinished truth, Moretti travels to Toledo. The city's cathedrals hum faintly at night, though no one notices. In the catacombs below the old monastery of San Bartolome, she discovers fresco fragments scattered across broken walls, depictions of spheres and angels intertwined with devices of impossible design. Each fragment glows under ultraviolet light, resonating to the same frequency she once heard beneath Rome. The cycle of light was not contained to Florence. It spanned nations, centuries, minds. Humanity, it seems, has been unknowingly painting blueprints for its own rediscovery. As she pieces the fragments together, a pattern emerges, one that mirrors the global alignment of the spheres. The missing disk, she realizes, is not lost. It was moved. The coordinates embedded in the fresco point not to the heavens, but to the Earth's core. The final sphere was never meant to rise. It was meant to remain. The heart of the network, pulsing deep below the mantle. The others were its eyes, its voice, its reach. When she overlays the coordinates, the Earth's magnetic anomalies align perfectly. The message left centuries ago wasn't a warning. It was an instruction. Sequence 8 has already begun. At dawn, standing atop Toledo's cathedral roof, Moretti gazes toward the horizon where auroras shimmer faintly once more. The hum returns, softer, slower, almost like breathing. She knows it won't stop this time. The cycle of light that began in a 15th century painting now moves through the planet itself, rewriting what it means to be human. As church bells toll below, she whispers to the wind, "Ad lumen." The light answers with a pulse that trembles through the stones beneath her feet. For the first time in recorded history, the Earth hums like a living memory, awake, aware, and endlessly unfinished.